The person writing this in says that they treat the Bible like it's a magic 8-ball. Very interesting title to it. And in looking through this, yeah, I can see what they're saying. Hi, Mark. Thank you for all you do. Your material has been life-changing. I suggest your work to almost every person in my life. That's very kind of you. Thank you. That's awesome. My question has to do with how I grew up reading the Bible and was taught what it means. Now, as an adult, it has turned into intense scrupulosity and panic every time I read the Bible. Growing up, I was always taught that whenever I have a question or decision in life, join the swim team, go to college, which college, do I date this person? Do I date them now? Do I talk to that friend? Do I tell that person? I mean, any question and any decision. I was taught to go sit down, read the Bible, and whatever phrase was highlighted or applicable, like go, do not go, you will be destroyed, like Israelite stuff, it applied to me and my situation. So if this is true, exactly as you are relaying it, this is a very, very, dysfunctional is not even the word. It's a very, very unbiblical way to communicate the scriptures. If your church is really communicating this, it's not only dysfunctional, it's wrong and very unhealthy. This is going to breed a lot of mental health problems, by the way. A lot. It is going to breed scrupulosity in a lot of the congregants. I've never known anything different. This is how much church operates. My entire family. As this has progressed, and I've learned this may not be the correct way to view the Bible, I've noticed I struggle to understand what the Bible then is for, if not to give me certain and specific answers. It has turned into major analysis paralysis when I make decisions. An ability to even make a decision. Hearing God becomes my only goal in life. Extreme relationship OCD thinking. Anytime I will go into the Bible, I will hear that I am doing everything wrong and I will be destroyed because I picked the wrong person. How do I unlearn this and step into what the Bible is actually for? Make decisions not based on exact wording and find freedom from this pattern in my Bible reading. I'm going to do my best to try to keep my answer concise because I could talk for hours about this subject because I feel that there's a form of this that a lot of modern Christianity lives in. We're trying to find this narrative of what is God saying in some framework of obedience, disobedience, or a sense of like what he's commanding us to go, where's he going, what's he doing, and it's affecting us in a very microscopic kind of way that I'm very concerned about. I think we're teaching people to read into so much. We're getting down to micro decisions, trying to find what God is saying. And it goes against the law of liberty because the liberty is in the gospel. It's your ability to make decisions and decide. And I think that from my perspective, this whole like read the Bible, you got to find the command thing. In my personal opinion, I think this has been influenced as a control move. I think it's like a way to like get in people's thinking, this like control mechanism. I think it allows people then to say, well, I feel like the Lord is saying this over your life and that. But then it relays a controlling aspect of God. And I push back with believers. God is in control, but he's not controlling. Big difference. And yes, that opens up mystery, doesn't it? Of who God is and how he relates, right? But I think that this kind of mindset, it strips you of a liberty of making decisions. It puts God into every decision, and it gets us into these patterns that I actually don't see in Scripture. I see in the Old Testament where the Bible says David inquired of the Lord, but he didn't inquire of the Lord of, many things. It was usually the battles, which was a big thing. His whole country, his whole nation of people going to war against somebody. And this was actually a clear theme that the Lord was working in Israel because they were going to the promised land. They were taking the land. They were conquering it. They had to go to war. This is an Old Testament context of how the Lord was working. It's a very clear thing that was going on, right? But other than that, I don't see this pattern of checking and checking. I mean, David didn't ask the Lord who to marry. That's for sure. There's no, in the Bible, there was no kind of checking at all. It was like, oh, bring her to me. Oh, by the way, what's her name? It was just based on a first time encounter. It would terrify people today, wouldn't it? Right? And so many decisions, big decisions. They didn't say, oh, they got reassurance from God about it. I'm not against praying about it, but I think, in my personal opinion, modern day Christians, we are compulsively checking for God's will over steps we're taking. Like we're overdoing it because we're afraid of missing God. We're afraid of failure. We're afraid of messing up. So we live like it's all on our shoulders. So we procrastinate. We don't make a decision. I'm seeing this everywhere. OCD, not OCD, doesn't matter. I'm seeing this everywhere. Well, the Lord hasn't given me a release. I don't know, because the Lord is checking with the Lord. But I was just seeking the Lord, and I was just asking the Lord, what's he saying? What's he doing? And I think what the Lord was doing was they're just weaving this whole narrative. Then this is what I do. I go, so what do you want to do? They don't even know. And I'm not saying living apart from God. That's not what I'm talking about. You're living, you just decide, and God, you're the boss of God. That's not even close to where I'm going. But we don't realize the beauty of we live and move and have our being. And I didn't live in the freedom to make decisions. I was like, God, is this, what is this? What is this? So Christians, we have this thing we say, we go, I'm going to pray about it. And usually, usually what that means is they're going to go sit there and check all the pros and cons, and they're going to introspect, and they're going to and then if they're very prone to listening to fear, they're going to be checking their fears. I don't have peace about it. I prayed about it. I just don't have peace about it. We've lost our ability to let our yes be yes and our no be no. Right? Just make a decision. Make a decision and step forward in it. What if I make the wrong decision? Okay. And again, I don't know why I feel the need to do this, but I have a vulnerability to the contrarian thoughts whenever I'm talking. I know, and that's been my own journey of learning how to which ones to not address, right? I'm not saying just live impulsively and just whatever, but I'm not seeing that problem. I'm seeing compulsive over-checking, over-analysis, overthinking. And if you want a word, it is make a decision and step into it. Because this is another thing you've been taught as a Christian, and it's a lie. This is what you've been taught. If God's in it, it's going to work out perfectly, and there'll be no problems. Work out perfectly, no problems. You've been lied to. You've been lied to. No, you'll have problems. You'll have stuff happening. But you learn in that to you learn God's ways. We started many years ago. Many of you know the story where we started a small church. It wasn't like your ideal setup or startup at all. But we started it. I didn't feel this sense of God going, I want you to do it. It was a sense of this seems like right now, this seems like the step to do. And we did that for 5-6 years. And we ended up leaving it, and we had to close the church. Did we miss God? No, we had amazing years in it. I learned so much in it. We don't do enough work on seeing God in our stuff that didn't work out. So you go, well, that friend didn't work out. I should have never picked that friend. That was a failure. No, the interpretation's off in this stuff. So then on top of it, we're doing this kind of stuff. This is all. So I want to get to your question, because you're like, how do I unlearn this? Well, you're going to have to start by starving your compulsion. Starving your compulsion, not compulsively. Starving your compulsion to do that checking. You're going to have to go, okay, join the swim team. Do I want to join the swim team? No, I don't want to join the swim team. Okay. I want to join the swim team. Okay, join it. Make a decision and go. And you're going to have to starve it, and you're going to feel like you're disobeying God. That's what's going to kick up. And you're going to feel anxious. You're going to feel God's left you. And your OCD is going to tell you committed the unpardonable sin. Now you really did it. Now you're really going to hell. And it's going to push. And it's going to tap. It's going to add more. It's going to add more. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. But that's part of the healing, is detoxing that behavior of, okay, God, I want to learn how to see just the scriptures for what it is in your heart. And if I'm in these inroads, I'm not getting your heart. So I'm not going to let that settle into my root system, because I'm relearning. Because when you read the Old Testament, it's the wild, wild west of all kinds of crazy stories. I'm in it right now. I'm in this story in Kings, where a prophet goes, and is it Jeroboam or Rehoboam? Jeroboam. And the prophet goes, and this whole thing happens, and then another prophet lies to him, tricks him, lies to him. The dude does what he says, and then gets judged. A lion attacks him and kills him. It's like, wait, this is nuts, right? But it's like we're learning in time, like, okay, I don't know that I have context here. I have what I have in front of me. Let it wash through me. I don't know that I got it. It's okay. I don't know that I got something out of this. Okay, it's okay. It's more like, what just happened? Kind of thing. Somebody else wrote about that too in another question about certain stories, and they're constantly triggered by stories and stuff like that. Because we weren't there, we didn't see it, we weren't happen. So there's information we're missing, there's context we're missing. What is there is meant for our learning. Okay, what can I see from this? What can I learn from this? But for you, there's a lot of detoxing of that legalistic compulsivity. You have like a whole religious legalism that you're going to need to come out of. It can't be done. But when you step into the grace and freedom of it, at first it feels too good to be true. But you're going to need to just make very practical day-to-day. Do I date this person? Go ahead and date him, right? Get my book on the myth of the perfect one to help you face your fears along the way. But I see this problem in a lot of decision-making. We want to hear God, but really what we want is we want reassurance that this thing won't fail. Because if it fails, which failure is distorted in itself, and that's the end. Start a business, it doesn't work out, then I'm a failure. No, you're going to learn a whole lot. I take this step. And many of you need to recognize that God is a rewarder of faith. It doesn't say perfect faith. Because if God is a rewarder of perfect faith, every single person in the scriptures is completely disqualified from being shown as examples, because they all messed up. We got to stop disconnecting from that reality and realize we are learning in our journey. You had a relationship, didn't work out, learn from it. You had a job, you got fired, learn from it. You got this thing that happened, learn from it. And let's stop putting this heavy God stamp on every little, well, he willed because he wanted to do. Sometimes you can just go, I don't know. I don't know what God's doing, but I'm learning. I'm learning along the way. I think that we have to starve the compulsive, what is God saying and what is God doing, that I think is working against a lot of Christians from simply just taking a step. And that's what I have to say about that. Mm-hmm. So